I don't advise just staying in the house all the time. You do need some type of fresh, what is it, breath of fresh air? Fresh air of breath. You know what I'm saying. Hey YouTube, it's Mina, aka the Empressive Nurse here, and I'm back with another video. Wait, hold on. This is my first video. What am I talking about? Okay, y'all, I've been studying all week for my NCLEX. Oh, I know you peeped the nails. I got my nails done in the first time in forever. If you're a nurse or a nursing student, you know tips are not it. It's no-go. So I finally got my nails done. So today we are going to talk about everything nursing, why I became a nurse, tips I have, things of that sort. So on Instagram, I did ask some of my followers to ask me questions, anything about nursing, anything about my personal journey, and I had some questions. So obviously the first question is, why did you decide to be a nurse? Anyone who personally knows me knows that I started off as a pharmacy student. So I went to a school in New York and I was in the 6-year PharmD program. Honestly, a lot of people ask me, why did you decide to become a pharmacist? I chose it mainly because of it was practical. I got into a 6-year program, 6 years, I would become a pharmacist. Didn't necessarily have to do a residency. The money was good. I was just thinking with my head only, like no interest whatsoever. Yes, so why did I change my mind? So I was in school, everything was great. In class, doing fine, just regular college student, having fun. Our program required us to do like volunteer in our field. So I did go to some volunteer internships, things like that. And I hated every single one. I was just like, maybe it's this environment that I don't like. I'll go to another one. Hated it too. I'm just like, this is a pattern. I hate every single internship, rotation, or whatever I'm going to. I can't spend my life doing this. But I was like, I'm already in year 2. Let's just stuck it out. Yeah, no. So literally the moment I decided to change, I was in my pharmacy seminar class. Is a class that we had to take. I was in that class and I remember I was just sitting down listening, and then everything they were saying was going in one ear and out the other. I was just sitting thinking, like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to do this. And I left that day, and I just went to the basketball court and I sat down and I was just thinking. I was like, I can't thug this out. I don't like it, and I'm not going to continue to do this. The first thing that came to mind was, how am I going to tell my parents? The school's expensive. How am I just going to tell them, I don't want to go here anymore? I don't want to do this. Sorry. Like, I was thinking. So I was like, let me go talk to my counselor first. I went to go speak to my counselor, and I was telling her, my concerns and how I wasn't really interested and things like that. And sis told me, hey, if this is, if you think it's too hard, like maybe you should just pick something that's not in the medical field. When I tell you guys, I had to control myself. I was just looking at her like, I never once said this was too hard. I said I didn't like it. Let me stop. And she's like, oh, okay. And then suggested that I do healthcare administration. So I paid attention to that. I left. I was like, this is not going anywhere. Let me just leave. So I left and I was like, I have to tell my parents. So before I told my parents, I did some research on careers that I felt like would fit me. And along the journey, I did find nursing. Keep in mind, my mom is a nurse, so it's not like a new career to me, but I never looked into myself doing it. So the more I, researched into it, the more I liked it. I was watching videos on why I became a nurse and things like that, and I was just like, this is me. I need patient interaction. Like, I need to have critical thinking skills involved in my job. I need to be on my feet moving. That's the kind of person I am. I need to be able to speak to people, speak to their families. Like, that's what I need to be doing. For me, pharmacy, just for me, was very boring. I would look at my watch and count the time for me to leave. Like, it was very boring for me, and it just didn't fit my personality. So before I did call my parents, I did, have to have something to present them. Like, what do I think I want to do? So when I called them, I was very nervous. And surprisingly, they took it well. They said, okay, if you don't want to do this, then what do you want to do? And before I could even say, my mom was like, I told them, my counselor said, oh, you should do healthcare administration. And they were like, no, that's not you. Like, no. And my mom suggested nursing. I didn't say anything, but I was like, okay, yeah. But it's so funny because I already looked into that and decided, like, I think that's what I wanted to do. So it was my sophomore year, so now I'm like, all right. It's already probably around October or November. Like, the semester's almost ending. So I'm like, I have to transfer ASAP. So I looked into schools back home, and I realized, obviously I have to get some more prerequisites because I don't have all of them. So I looked into that. I came back home the following spring semester. I finished my prerequisites in that spring semester, and then I took classes in the summer, and then I started nursing school in the fall. Yes, I know a lot of people, when I tell people that, they're like, what? Did you have a lot of classes to transfer? No, they only accepted 3 courses, I think, from my previous school. It was English 1, English 2, and philosophy. I think they only took 3. So when I tell you I jam-packed my semester, my spring semester, I had to get an approval from the dean because I took over credits. I was trying to, push through. I was like, okay, I want to be in nursing school by the fall. Do I recommend that for everyone? It depends on what you can handle. Some people have children, full-time jobs. In that spring semester, I decided not to work. I decided to be all about school. Not everyone can do that. So you have to assess your situation. If you live at home with your parents, I do. If you live at home with your parents, that's why I was able to do that. I took that spring semester, no work, just school. The amount of classes I had, I could not work. I literally could not work. But that summer semester, I did get a job again. And yeah, so that's how I did it. And the main reason I decided to be a nurse was really because of the impact that they make. Like, when you go to the hospital, yes, you do see your doctor, there's a whole team taking care of you, but day in and day out, your nurse is with you. Day in and day out, your nurse is with you, checking up on you, noting any changes. That's who you grow close to. That's who your family meets. That's who talks to your family. That, you know what I mean? Like, but I really liked that level of patient interaction. I felt like that's what I was missing with pharmacy, was that patient interaction. I really do like that we have a big ability to change. So that's why I really do want to work in the inner city area, because that's where they need the help, and that's where I want to be. In addition to all of that, I really do like that nursing has like a lot of career advancement. So for example, you can be an LPN, you can be an RN, you can be RN BSN, FMP, like you can keep going, like, and I love that. You can move from different fields. So say you're a cardiac nurse, oh, you don't want to do cardiac anymore, you want to be an ER nurse, you want to be renal, you want to do dialysis, like you can do some OB, like peds. I really like that you're not stuck in one place and there's a lot of flexibility, so that works with me. And like I said, I picked a career that matched my personality, and nursing definitely matches my personality. So another question I was asked is, what was my toughest semester / class? For me, it was peds, hands down peds. So the way my school did it is OB and peds was in the same semester. Loved OB, like loved OB. Peds was not my forte. Like, okay, yeah, I did all right. Yeah, like I did well. Guys, It just was like I had to put in extra work for that class for me to do well. I had to put in extra work. In nursing school, you do have to ID your weaknesses, and peds was just that for me. A lot of people ask me why, because most of the care that at least we learn in nursing school is adult based. So then when you just move it to a child, everything's different. Vital signs are different, things to assess are different. Some things are the same, but it was just very off the track for me, so I had to like put in more work for peds. My favorite / least favorite rotation. So my favorite either had to be OB or advanced med surg, and if I'm choosing between the two, probably advanced med surg. I loved advanced med surg. I would go to rotations every day with a smile on my face, excited, ready, like what am I gonna get today? I loved it. OB would be a close second. OB would be next. Oh, my least favorite, I don't know if y'all caught the drift, but would be peds. Tips for students taking prerequisites preparing for nursing school. So a big tip I would give you guys is to start that discipline now. Start the discipline before you enter nursing school. So if you realize, oh, I'm really bad with time management, start being better with time management now. You know what I mean? Like, it only gets harder, so it's better for you to learn it now than get to nursing school, learn it, be stressed out with the material, and then also be stressed out because you're not ready to, you know, fully divulge in this. So start that now. I was saying prior, I picked a career before pharmacy based off of just practicality, not because I liked it. Not because it was for me, but just based off of practicality. So if you're doing that with nursing, I highly suggest you look into something else, because that's not the way to pick a career. I do understand a lot of people just, I want a career that's gonna pay me well, that I can, stuff like that. But if you don't want to do this, don't do it. I just know way too many people who hate their job because it's not what they want to do. And then they go to work, make everyone miserable. Their patients get affected by it. Their coworkers get affected by it. Go to work because it's something that you love. If you are just picking it because it's like, close my eyes, whoa, I picked something, don't do it. And I'm telling you, you heard that from me. Yep. Okay. So good resources for studying. So personally for me, the PowerPoints and the textbooks did it. Like, I was able to study off of that. But supplementally, I did use Sarah, Nurse RN. I know a lot of you guys have heard about her and her videos. She makes great videos, and it's content that is across the board. Like, it's not like, oh, my school, we don't know this. No, it's across the board content. She really goes into stuff even in detail. So particularly if I really wasn't understanding a concept, if I watched her video, I would understand it more. So she's a good resource. And another thing, don't try to read the entire textbook from front to back, word to word, all that. Try to pick out important information. So practice your highlighting skills, guys, because if you try to read a page, right, and try to highlight what you think is important. If your whole page is highlighted, you're highlighting wrong. And let me tell you, that's something I had to learn in nursing school. I was a highlighter. I would highlight everything, and then I'm just like, so I'm reading everything, but try to pick out what is important. Graphs, charts, values, things that are specific to a certain disease. You know what I mean? Try to pick those out. Don't try to highlight the whole book, because now you just have a yellow book or green book or whatever highlighter color you use. You just have a colored book and nothing stuck. So that's another tip. How do you stay strict on your schedule? Number one, please go buy a planner. Go, after this video is done, go buy a planner right now if you don't already have one. Go run to the store and go buy a planner, because a planner is essential. If I didn't have a planner in nursing school, especially if you're working and you're in nursing school, which most of us did, please go buy a planner. And in the start of every semester, write down all your dates, when this is due, when this test is done, so you can plan that. I even wrote the shifts I had. So say I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I would write that in my planner so that I would know, oh, maybe if I work 7 to 3 from after 3 I can do this. Like, you have to plan by time, because time is of the essence. It really is, because blink your eyes, it's the next day, and then you miss that date. Like, buy a planner. Number 1, learn how to say no. You do not have to go to everything that's going on. Like, your friends going out all the time, you don't have to go every single time. I don't advise just staying in the house all the time. You do need some type of fresh, what is it, breath of fresh air of breath. You know what I'm saying. I've been studying all week, guys. I'm sorry. Like, it's but seriously, you don't have to say yes to everything. You can say no. Guys, I want to do this. If you plan your time to do that, don't go and deviate it for a night of fun and then the next day fail your exam. Don't do that. And plan ahead. How do you study for major exams? So for every exam, I make my own outlines. So I will use the material from my school's PowerPoints, the textbooks, and I will create my own outline based on that information in words that I understand. I get that information from the book and my PowerPoint, and I combine it so that's not so much information, I'm not overwhelmed, and it's things that I know are important. I suggest everyone do that. You remember things when you rewrite them and in your own words. So I would suggest that. Practice questions. I do a lot of practice questions. A lot of people ask me, where do you find practice questions? If you go on Google, for example, say I have a respiratory exam that I know respiratory is going to be on it. If you go on Google and type in respiratory NCLEX questions, some website will pop up and you can just do those questions. Like, any topic, cardiac questions, but make sure you put NCLEX questions so they give you, like, nursing questions that you can do. You guys don't have, let me see, I have the book right here. This book is the holy grail, y'all. It's the holy grail because it has everything in it, like everything. Even for me, I'm studying for my NCLEX. I use it now, but I used it in school too. Just don't get discouraged because you see NCLEX on it. Like, in your school or in your program, at least, you should be getting NCLEX level questions on your exams. So the whole time you're studying for your NCLEX, like, it's all leading you up to that point. So buying an NCLEX book is never too early, because those are the type of questions you need to be doing now. You need to get used to your select all that applies. That's new for everyone. Get used to your who do you see first. Get used to those kind of questions. So focus on your areas of weakness and strength before exams. So for example, like your final exam, those are all comprehensive. I always knew that my strengths were neuro, cardiac, and respiratory. Probably why I love critical care. My lower areas, or my weaker areas, were always like GI and peds. Focus on those areas. If you know, I have an exam and it's going to have this on it, I'm really good at this, that, and that, brush up on those areas. Don't leave them astray because you're good at them, but focus on the areas that you're not too hot at. That's part of the job. So I'm not in practice yet. I graduated, but I'm not in practice yet. But I want to say the best part of the job would be the impact that you make on the families and the patients, because it really does have you feeling like some type of way. Like, you leave at the end of the day like, wow, like wow, like, it really does make a difference. I really do love that the best about the job. Obviously, yes, you are caring for patients, trying to nurse them back to health, but they never forget you in the way you treat them. So that probably for me would be the best part of the job. Last question is, how do you overcome days of wanting to give up? So everyone overcomes days of wanting to give up differently. Particularly for me, I do pray often because nursing school, you're going to need some strength, guys, to get through it. No matter where you are in your walk of life, you're going to need some strength for nursing school. So I do pray often. I never, ever compare myself to anyone else. Everyone is different. I could be in class and see, Susie's getting all the questions right. That's good for Susie. You know what I mean? Focus on yourself and what you're good at, what you need help with. not saying don't go help anyone. No, just don't compare yourself to anyone. That'll bring you down. If you notice someone's doing better than you, and even if you know someone's doing worse than you, you might feel like you're better off. No, don't compare yourself to anyone else. You're on your own walk, they're on their own walk. So don't compare, because that can bring you down a lot. And I always do remember, why did I choose to become a nurse in the first place? I want to be a nurse this bad. I cannot give up. Why do you want to be a nurse? You know, go back and trace those reasons. Why did you pick or become to be a nurse? For me, it had a lot to do with, yes, it did match my personality, but I do want to be in there making that difference. Do you? You know, like, is that something that you're, like, is that a driving force for you? Or do you just want to go there because, oh, it's ideal, it makes money, you know? Like, you have to kind of assess that as well. And I do daily affirmations a lot, so I will tell myself, you're great, you're a great nurse, like, you're confident, you're competent. Like, I tell myself those things, and the more you tell yourself those things, the more you start to believe them, because, you know, daily affirmations really work. If you say, I'm gonna kill it today, you go in there and you kill it today, you know? Like, obviously it doesn't happen like that, but it helps. Like, telling yourself those things helps. And always be confident, never cocky. So confidence, everybody loves a confident nurse. You don't want to be a patient and walk in and your nurse is like all over the place, not knowing what she's doing. That's going to scare you. That would scare me if I was a patient. If my nurse is looking all over, nervous, that would scare me. Be confident. Be confident in what you know. Be confident in your skills. Go in there and, you know, rock it. But don't be cocky, because we don't know everything. No one knows everything. You might need some help. So cockiness, that's not it. Like, there was a lot more questions, but I just could not answer all of them in a timely manner. So if I did not answer your question, feel free to DM me and I will talk to you personally. But I just wanted to kind of condense the video to not make it too long. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe and follow me on Instagram and my other social medias. Thank you for watching. Bye, and see you at the next video.